Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today is Saturday, February 3rd, and I figured to do a January wrap-up for you all to tell you about all the books that I've read or I was able to read in the month of January. In the month of January, I was able to get through four books. So, a couple weeks back, I did a video, a midway video to tell you about the first two books that I was reading, and now I'm going to tell you about the last two books, well, all four of them actually. So the first book I was able to get to in the month of January was A Court of Thorns and Roses. This is a fantastic fantasy book by Sarah J. Maas. It is the first book in her Court of Thorns and Roses book series. It's the Agatar book series, and it follows Farah, and who at the beginning of the book she kills this wolf, and because she kills this wolf, a beast shows up at her door, where she lives with her father and her three other sisters. Or two other sisters, I forget, 2 or 3 other sisters, and because she kills the wolf, she's forced to go now live on the other side of the wall from her homeland, and she's now forced to go live with this beast because she not broke the curse, but because she broke this treaty that her homeland had with this beast's homeland, and by killing this wolf. So because she killed the wolf, she had to go live with the beast. And now she has to go figure out a way to either deal with the fact that now she has to live with this beast, who is the lord of his kingdom. So there are 4 or 5 courts in this land, and there's the night court, autumn court, winter court, spring court, and there might be other courts as well. But he's the high lord of one of the courts. Tamlin is his name, and Farah needs to now determine whether she has to get along with Tamlin and his sidekick, Lucien, or she has to figure out a way to escape. And it's the trials and tribulations of being kind of a prisoner against her own will, and forming some sort of relationship with Tamlin and Lucien. And the trials and tribulations, the ups and downs, and the twists and turns in this book are fantastic. I love the world building that happens in this book, learning about all the different courts and what they mean and what they bring to this land altogether, and to learn about the High Lord, each of the High Lords and the different characters that come to be in this book. They're fantastic. I loved it from start to finish, and I highly recommend this book to anyone that loves fantasy and loves to read about that sort of stuff. Okay, so that's the first book. The second book that I read was The Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. I liked this book, but I kind of compared it kind of like Harry Potter versus Twilight a little bit. I did not like Twilight's book as much as I loved Harry Potter. And I kind of felt this way between Court of Thorns and Roses and between this book. I did not like this book as much as I thought I would. This follows the main character, Alex Stern, as she is a college dropout, and she winds up in a sticky situation one night, and her cousin or her friend, I guess, some guy shows up at her door, and she lives out in California. Some guy shows up at her actual bedside and makes a deal with her to come back to, or to go to Yale and become part of this society at Yale University. And this society performs rituals every month, performs magic. She has this hidden power that this guy is very interested in seeing her capabilities. And while she's at Yale University, a murder takes place on campus, and she has to figure out if the murder that happened on campus has anything to do with what's happening in society, the society that she's in. And the truth of it all, I kind of had a hard time following what was happening. There was a lot of, I feel like it was skipping around a lot. There were not dual points of view, but dual timelines in this. And I kind of felt, even though each chapter told you what timeline it was following, what time of year it was following, I still had a hard time following what was actually going on in this book, and what the capabilities of each person was, and what the actual point of the rituals were, and everything like that. And I kind of felt that it had to do a little bit about, I don't know, the characters themselves, I didn't really feel a connection with the characters. So if I didn't feel a connection with the characters, I didn't feel a connection with the book and the storyline. So that's my own thoughts and opinions about this book. Everyone is obviously welcome to their own thoughts and opinions, so I'm willing to hear anybody out. I know that this has gotten great reviews in the past, but I'm just not a fan of it, and that's fine. I gave this a 3-star rating, and I gave Court of Thorns and Roses 5 stars. The next book that I read was King of Wrath by Anna Hung. Anna Hung, yeah. And this was the same author who wrote the Twisted series. So I love the Twisted series so much that I figured to give this a shot. And this book follows this girl. Her name was Vivian, and she's an heiress of a jewelry business. Her father owns a jewelry business, and she's the heiress of it. They kind of came to be in high society because her father opened and built this jewelry business from the ground up. Now, her family has always wanted her and her sister to marry into high society, a higher society than they were in. They wanted her to marry into old money, essentially. And so they forced her sister to do it. That worked out fine. Her sister is happily married in her arranged marriage. But Vivian always thought that she could get away with not doing that. But her college boyfriend didn't get the approval of her parents. So now she's reached a certain age where she needs to get married. So her parents set her up in this arranged marriage with this Dante Russo, who is a billionaire CEO. And it kind of goes from there. And you could imagine that a relationship actually forms from them. But Dante is actually hiding a secret. And the secret is actually so big that it might even destroy whatever they have built, the situationship that they have come into. But I love anything that has to do with love, high society, royals, anything. There were characters that the Twisted series had that came into this book. The connection between the Twisted series and this book series, there are connections between some of the characters, and I just absolutely loved it. So this is King of Wrath. I have written book reviews on both a Court of Thorns and Roses and Ninth House, and I've also written a book review on King of Wrath. So if you'd like to know more about my thoughts and opinions, please feel free to go onto my blog at hadleybooks.com and check out those full book reviews there. The last book that I have read for the month of January is Ready Player 2. And this is the last book in a duology. There's 2 books in it. The first book was Ready Player 1, and this is Ready Player 2. And this follows Wade as the end of Ready Player 1 was him winning the competition to become CEO of this video game company that James Holiday has created. This virtual reality sort of situation. This video game company that James Holiday has created. So James Holiday passes away. There was a challenge to get his money, his earnings, his life savings, everything. And Wade and his friends have completed that. So as a trophy, they've become CEOs of this company. Well, they created this virtual headset that actually connects to your head, and you become part of this virtual world more than it was in the past. And something goes wrong in the domination, the rival companies, and the other old, the original video game company had 2 original owners of it. James Holiday was one, and I forget the second player, or the second owner. And then the second owner. The second owner is still alive of the company. So now they have to, becomes another challenge because the owner of the rival video game company has done something wrong and has taken control of the whole virtual reality world. Well, this could end in a deadly disaster. So now Wade and his friends have to save the world from pure domination and everyone dying. So I liked the first one. I thought that this book kind of was a knockoff of the second one. But it also had a kind of a connection to connection to the real world as well. My connection from this book and reality itself is that people are getting sucked into technology and virtual worlds, and with virtual reality glasses and everything like that, that one day, maybe in the future, this book is based in, 2050, 2060, 2070 years, but sometime in the future, we'll probably wind up in a world like this, where there's a virtual world. No one cares about what's actually going on in reality in the real world, and our world as we know it has become this virtual world. And there is some connection to what this book is really telling us about what could happen. It's a scary world out there with technology and the capabilities of technology, and where technology is headed, and whether technology is actually safe. This book really talks about how in maybe a click of a button, our world can be pretty much destroyed in the virtual world and everything, and how technology can take over our lives, and there's no more real human-to-human connection anymore, and it's all about wearing your virtual reality glasses and being sucked into there and losing connection with the real world. So I think that that's my connection to this book and how I connect with it. The story itself wasn't very interesting, but I think the meaning behind the growth of technology and the growth of virtual reality and AI, and where AI and virtual reality is headed in our future, and what we might wind up as in the future, I think it's a scary, scary thought. And it's something that people really need to take into consideration a lot of times. This is a made-up story, but who knows? Technology is controlling our lives. So maybe one day we'll see ourselves in situations that we never thought were possible. So anyway, those are my thoughts and opinions about the 4 books that I've read for the month of January. I am currently reading, I'm so excited about this, I'm currently reading Daisy Jones and the Six. I'm 200 pages into it, and I'm absolutely loving it. I love the interview concept of the writing style of it, and I think it's, because it's an interview style, going back and forth between all the characters and the different band members, it's a very easy read. It's a fast-paced read, and I'm loving learning about music and everything like that. So hopefully I can post a TBR for February. I have not kind of nailed down my final TBR for February. Kind of want to read romance books, but I'm kind of in the mood for some thrillers. So I don't know yet. But hopefully I can post that tomorrow. I can nail that down tomorrow and post that for you guys as well. But until then, I hope you guys have a wonderful time reading. Curl up on the couch with a good book and have a good time. All right. And remember, the best leaders are readers. Have a good one.